So it's Sims 4 update day. Don't panic. Bookmark this video and come back to it when you're ready to update your game to have a smooth update day process. In this video, I'm going to go over the steps that I go through whenever it's update day just to make sure that my game ends up running smoothly when it comes time for me to play again. The gist of it is I'm going to back up my saves, I'm going to take out my mods, update the game, and then add my mods back. And I'm going to take you through each step and troubleshoot as I go along. When it comes to backing up my game, I do have an external drive that I use sometimes, but then I also have a separate drive on my computer that I save backups to. You can save backups to your OneDrive account, your Google Drive account, Dropbox, wherever you can keep your saves and anything in case anything gets corrupted or goes wrong in the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back up my Sims 4 game files. I'm going to navigate to Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, and I want to back up my saves, my tray, and my mods folder, just to make sure I have a copy of everything in case anything gets corrupted. On my backup drive, whether that's my external drive, OneDrive, Google Drive, wherever you're going to save a copy of these things, I'm going to make a backup folder. I usually date the folder just so I have the exact date where I saved everything, and I'm just going to copy the files into my drive. Now, depending on how much information you have in your files, how many saves, how many mods, etc., that's going to determine how long it's going to take. Also, you need to make sure you have enough space in wherever you're saving for your files. So I have about 20 gigs of information that I'm copying over. I need to make sure that I'm copying those files over into a place that has at least 20 gigs of space. Your save files are literally your game saves. So every time you make a new save, you have different saves that you play with different households or different storylines. That's where that is saved. Your tray files are actually the things that you make that are a part of your library that you do not save up to the gallery. So households that you make, houses that you make, lots that you make, etc. Like that's what is found in the tray files. Your mods are your modifications, which includes CC and mods. And for the sake of this video, whenever I say mods, I mean particularly script mods or things that change gameplay mechanics or UI or things like that in the game. CC or custom content, the things you download that are clothing, accessories, furniture, all of those extra stuff that don't actually change the gameplay, but are there to kind of be extra decorations or whatnot. Usually with updates, I'm concerned about mods. Okay, I forgot to back up my screenshots folder as well. The screenshots are all of your in-game photos. So any picture that you take in-game is saved to the screenshots folder. And I like having that as a backup just in case for myself. Backups are basically copies of your files saved in a separate place for safekeeping. That's all that it is. Whenever someone says back up your game, that's what they're talking about. They're saying copy the files and save them somewhere safe. Now, if you wanted to, you could copy your entire Sims 4 folder. It could be helpful because some of these files, like your game config files, your options files, like those are your settings that you have for your game. Like if you change the scale of the UI or you turned off the audio or something like that, like those are saved in those files. But for me, I typically find that it's not necessary. Now, to prepare for the update, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my mods folder and I'm going to take out all of my mods. While I'm here though, I am going to show you really quickly something that I do that's helpful for mod organization. So anything that's a mod specifically, something that might need to be updated after a major update, I have tagged with the file name one_mod_. Then whatever the name of the mod is, and then underscore whatever version that it is. So for example, the MC Command Center version that I'm on is version 7.0, or the UI cheats mod that's in my game is version 1.51. And it's just helpful for me in case I'm going to the mod websites and I'm like, ooh, do I have this version in my game or not? At quick glance, I can see that this mod is version 1.51. And I do that for anything that is saved in a folder or saved as the file. If you have more than 2 layers of folders within the mods folder, the game is not going to read it. So for example, in this Afro CC folder, I could probably make a folder that's masculine, feminine, children, but I couldn't go any deeper than that or else the game wouldn't read it. Anyway, so I'm just gonna find some random place to put them on my computer temporarily. So like I've made this mods folder on my desktop. I'm just going to move all of these, not copy them. I'm going to move them. so that the folder is completely empty and all of my mods are on my desktop now. The other thing I'll do is, because I don't do this often, I'm gonna get rid of these last exceptions, okay? I don't know what's going on. There's definitely information in here that I should be looking at. I'm not going to right now. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay, and more or less, my game should be ready for the update now. I'm just gonna show you really quickly some settings that you could have on your EA app just to help you with updates. The one thing being turning off automatic updates. In order to do that, you're gonna wanna go to the options in the top left, go to settings, go to application, and where it says application updates, automatically download and install updates when they are available, go ahead and turn that off. Right now, this setting is off for me, and I just wanted to confirm that. The other thing that you could do on update day, if you just don't want to deal with the process to start, is go offline. In order to go offline on the EA app, you're going to go to the 3 dots and click go offline. And when you do that, it comes with a pop-up box that says, are you sure you want to go offline? You will only be able to play games that don't require an internet connection. If you close the app, you'll automatically go online the next time you log in. So that's another thing that you have to watch out for and really make sure that your automatic updates are turned off, because then the next time you open up the app, you'll be back online. So you can say, yes, I'm sure. So now here, if you want to just play your game without worrying about the update, this is how you would do that. But I'm going to go ahead and go back on online because I'm prepared for the update. All right, so it's about update time. I see here update is required, and it did not automatically happen because I turned off automatic updates. So now that everything is prepared for the update, I'm gonna go ahead and click the download icon to download the update. I'll hit continue, and you'll see it's gonna start running in the background. So I'm gonna let this update and then I'll come back. The EA app says that the Sims 4 update is complete. So now I'm going to open up the game and confirm that the game should launch and everything should run correctly. All right, so it looks like I got a full page ad, which I do have those turned off with a mod. So I can see that my mods are definitely no longer in my game. So here I can see I have my most recent save here. I am not gonna open any save that I already have in my game, especially because I have saves that are reliant on the mods that I just took out of my game. We are not opening up anything. Instead, we're gonna create a new save file. And already, I mean, it's a good sign this update has gone through successfully. I was able to launch the game. I can start a new save. Everything seems to be here as expected. Now, at the time of this update, they said that they've added the tags correctly. So we now have curly as well as afro textured for the different hair textures. So that's nice. All right, cool. Okay, so I have one of the versions of my sim self here. I'm just going to move my sim self into one of the neighborhoods randomly. She was able to get in here just fine. I can click on things. Let's see what happens when I take pictures, because that's one of the things that they said that they were supposed to fix. Oh, she's so cute. All right, so I'm taking this photo, I'm putting it up, and look at that, it's not turning black. Obviously, another way I can test this is by closing the game and then reopening it and seeing if this picture is black or not. But I am not gonna worry about it for now. At this point, I am comfortable feeling like the game updated successfully. Nothing should be broken with the game itself. Now it's time to go back and deal with my mods in my CC. So I'm going to close the game completely. Anytime you are messing with your mods folder or CC folder, your game should be completely closed. So I'm just gonna exit and sure, save and exit. Now I have a save that I know for sure is a vanilla save with no mods. So in case I need to test things, I can come to this save. Okay, so now I'm back into my Sims 4 game files. I'm gonna go into my mods folder. As you can see, it's empty, except for this resource.config file, which is the file that needs to generate for your mods. And then here on my desktop, these are my actual mods, okay, that were in my game before the update. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of my CC. So based on how I organize my files, it's very easy for me to tell because the things that are not mods do not have my little modifier here. All right, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna drag back my resource.config file and replace what the game generated. I don't know technically if I should be doing that. If you know better, please feel free to comment below, but this is how I do my updates. This is how I've done things. It works for me. Okay, so at this point, all of my CC is back in my mods folder. Typically, CC is not impacted by updates. Sometimes there is wonkiness, but most of the time, the issues that you have with mods are with your script mods. Now, From here, I have a pretty good idea which of my mods that I have in my game would need updates. Typically, MC Command Center needs to be updated, better build by, UI cheats, and the tool mod typically need to be updated. I also find sometimes that the more columns mod needs to be updated. So from this point on, what I like to do is I like to go to the modders' websites and see if there's any updates. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you what happens if you take all of your mods and you add them right back into your game without changing anything. Let's just see what happens. So at this point, I'm going to reopen the game. So first thing, my game is opening. So at least I know that these mods shouldn't be interrupting launching the game. Okay, and because I have my mods back in my game, I am going to open up a save that I know depends on my mod. So not my vanilla save. I'm going to open up my Tiny Town save. And if you're not watching my Tiny Town series or anything else that I'm playing on my live streams, make sure you're subscribed so you can watch me play The Sims on live. We have a lot of fun. Okay, so opening my game right now, I can see that I'm having some issues with my UI, right? So remember, we already saw that without my mods in my game should be looking and functioning as normal. So already I can see that there's issues with my mods. Additionally, there are 2 Sims in this household and this is not loading correctly at all. I'm missing my aspiration UI. Like everything is kind of being weird right now. So I know something's going on with the mods that are installed in my game. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to exit without saving. So I'm going to hit exit game. And when it's like, hey, do you want to save? No, we do not want to save any of these issues that we're experiencing in one of our sacred save files. So we're just going to hit exit. If you run into any issues with your saves after you've added your mods back in, do not save. That's my biggest tip. You do not want to save the problems. Okay, so at this point, I'm like, yeah, these need to be updated like I thought. So I'm going to show you what I normally actually do. Normally, I don't even bring my mods back into my mods folder until I've double checked if there's an update. So I just took them out. I moved them. I didn't copy them. I moved them back to my desktop folder, which was on this side. So I'm going to go one by one through all of the mod websites and download the most recent version of the mod. I'm going to show you how I do that for one of the mods and then just do the same thing for the rest of your mods in your mod folder. Okay, so one of the mods that I need to update is MC Command Center. So I've gone to Deaderpool's website. I'm going to go to download MCC. And I can see at this point that the latest version of MCC is not up because it says that this version is compatible with the Adventure Awaits patch, which was released on January 13th, 2026. And it also says that this is version 26.1.0. And if you remember, I labeled the version of MC Command Center that's in my game. So the MC Command Center version that's in my game is 2025 7.0, which, to be fair, means that my MC Command Center is already outdated. So I have now come back to this website to make sure I have the latest version. And that could also probably explain why I've been having weird things going on in my game, because my version is outdated. That being said, I'm going to wait and see if there is another version that's released today. So typically I like to give it like 24 to 48 hours after a patch is released. Usually some of the modders that have the more popular mods are really like on top of it. So I would anticipate that Deaderpool will have this out at some point today, but I'm kind of like on it with the update right now for the sake of this video. Okay, so sometimes things go awry with updates. And I just want to say that with the right preparation, you really don't need to freak out about that. For example, in this update, the Sims team basically acknowledged that some players are experiencing issues with today's base game update and that they're actively working on trying to get a solve. And when I go to the EA app, I see that there is another update required, which sometimes they'll push out an update and then push out like something else subsequently. I don't know what they're doing on the back end, but I think right now, I'm not even going to bother with doing the second update. I'll just finish completely updating my game later when they say that everything is resolved. So being in the Sims Discord is a really great way to stay updated on what's going on with updates, with things in the game. I would highly recommend that. But I'm not freaking out, and you're not going to freak out if anything goes wrong with anything in this process, because you have already backed up or made a copy of your Sims game files. So you're prepared if something goes wrong or if something is corrupted, because you have those files saved safely on your external drive, on your Google Drive, wherever else you decided that you were going to save them. So it's been a few hours since I was last on my computer, so I just wanted to show you what has happened since with the issue with the update. So like I already showed, the Sims team on the official Discord said that they knew that people were experiencing issues. And then literally less than an hour later, they said that the correct update should be rolling out now. So if I go back to the EA app, I should be able to download the version of the update that is working for everyone. I just wanted to show you in real time, like how I'm addressing issues as they come up. I had seen rumblings online and in my Discord about issues with the update. So I just kind of like slowed down a little bit. Obviously, if you're super excited about the update, go ahead and move as fast as you want. But usually I wait a little bit just to see how it rolls out. I was only on top of it for this update for the sake of this video. So the Sims team told us that if we saw the update earlier, we may need to clear our cache in order to see the correct update. And they give these directions. You're supposed to click the hamburger menu, hover over help and click on app recovery, and then click on clear cache. And then the app will restart and then I should be able to see the updates. So I'm back in the EA app. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over to help and then app recovery, like it said. So then it says you're about to run app recovery, something, clear cache. So I'm just gonna do what they said. Okay, it doesn't seem like I have any additional updates that are needed for my game. I'm just gonna open it up real quick and make sure that everything's working as it's supposed to. I do have my CC back in here. So if there's any issues, it could be the CC, but usually that doesn't happen like that. And I can already see that the game is launching. So at least that's working as expected. Okay, well, it looks like my game opened. I can load into my save here. I mean, I can see my sim again. And also just looking here, I guess the photo bug is fixed for now. So, you know, I do plan on making a video on how to create your own CC photos. So make sure you're subscribed for that, just in case that bug ever comes back. The Sims is opening. I can see my sim. I did make a new save. So if there's any issues in my old save, I'll find that out in the process of playing with those later. And I do see the event is showing up for me here. So at the time of this update, there was an event that was added into the game that I didn't see earlier. So the update must have worked. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and exit my game and I'm gonna exit without saving. I don't wanna mess up anything with my, sort of vanilla save. Okay, at this point, I am ready to continue putting my updated mods into my mods folder. So again, these are the old versions of my mods, and I just checked the Deaderpool website, and I can see that there is a new version of MCC that is now up. This has been tested to be working with all expansion packs and game packs up to Adventure Awaits, and the patch released February 3rd, 2026. So it's the version 2026.1.1. So I'm gonna download this and add it into my folder. Okay, so in my downloads folder, I can see I have MC Command Center, all modules 2026.1.1. I'm gonna extract this. So now I have this folder here. And then inside of this folder are all of my MC Command Center script files. So I'm gonna rename the folder with the convention that I like to use to help me stay organized. I added one mod underscore in front of the file name, and MC Command Center already has the version name there. So I'm going to leave that at the end. And I'm going to move this folder into my mods folder. Now, the mod that I had saved on my desktop, I'm just gonna delete this because I don't need this version anymore. I can also see that the Andrew Pose Player mod has not been updated. It's still version 10. So I think usually I don't need to update that mod after there's been a patch update. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that back into my game as well. Okay, the last mods that I need to update are my tool mod and my better build buy. And it looks like, according to Twisted Mexie's website, that better build buy should be compatible with the latest update, but tool, it looks like there may be some issues because it has a little yellow exclamation point. So I'll re-download better build buy. So at this point in my game, I've re-added the mods back to my mods folder. I was sure to download the most recent version of all my mods, and I am deleting the old versions of the mods that don't need to be in my mods folder anymore. So these ones that were saved in my desktop, I'm just going to delete them. I don't have one of my mods in my game right now, but I'm okay to play without it because I don't have any saves that are dependent on it. But if you have saves that are dependent on a mod, let's say the More Tragedies mod, I don't use a lot of gameplay mods, so I don't know. So if you've had like gameplay that's been dependent on mods, I would recommend, if the mod is causing issues in your game, then do not play that save until the modder releases an update. Just play in a different save, maybe create a vanilla save where you don't use any mods or something in the meantime if you want to play, or you can go offline like I showed you earlier. Now that my mods are back in my game, I'm gonna open up my game and see if everything's working as expected. Okay, so I'm loading into a save that I know that I've used mods in just to see if everything's working. Okay, so we are in this save that earlier was having problems. I was having issues with my UI, and now everything should be working. From what I understand, it might have been an issue with the tool mod. And so, that is not in my game anymore. You would have to troubleshoot issues with the mods themselves, but everything I'm seeing right now, it looks like things are where they're supposed to be and they're showing up where they're supposed to be. We did get a new family tree. Since I didn't do anything, I'm still gonna exit without saving. Listen, if you don't wanna go through your mods one by one to try to figure out like which ones might be causing issues, one of the things that you could do to possibly speed up being able to get back into your game is just adding all of the mods back into your mods folder. And then if there's issues with the mods, then try the 50-50 method to narrow down what mod is causing issues. That's when you take half of the mods, put them in your game, open up your game, see if it works. Then if you're poking around and you're seeing that things are working as expected, you know that any of the mods that are causing you issues are most likely not in the first batch that's in your game. Then if you add the rest of the mods into your game and there's issues, you know it was from that second batch of the 50-50. So then from there, you would take 50% of those mods and put them in your game, see if there's an issue. If there's no issue, then you know none of those are the problem, and then it's something else. So on this side here, I have all of my mods in CC that are in my game currently right now. So what you could do is you could take all of these out. I can see that's 96 items plus the resource.config file. And what you would do is you would take half of the items and put them into the game. This is a little bit more than half, but if you can open your game with all of these items in there and there's no issues, then you know that these are the items that are good to go. And your problem, the problem that you're having with your mods or CC, is in the batch of files that were not in your game, the other half. So then you would close your game and then you would move the next 50% of files into your game. Try to open your game. And if there's a problem, then you know it's one of the files that you just added to the game. But if there's still no issue, you've narrowed it down to the files that are still not in your game. And you would continue that process until you've narrowed down what CC file or what mod is causing your issue when it comes to launching your game or trying to play the game. And the more that you get familiar with your mods, the more you will start to figure out which mods are more likely to cause you a problem than others. At this point, I know my mod folder pretty well, and I know which mods probably won't need an update after there's been a patch update with the game versus the mods that will need to be updated after there's been a patch update. So as you become more familiar, you'll have a better eye for that sort of thing. Also, in case you're wondering what to do with the backup now that you're done with the update process, you can just keep it in case anything goes wrong, in case you need to go and load up an old version of a save. Now you have a backup of your saves. I usually keep several backups just for safekeeping, just in case, you never know. Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and hopefully I or someone else will be able to get to them for you. And if you are a veteran player who's been playing with mods since forever, feel free to leave tips for new players in the comments as well. And if you want to watch me play Sims and enjoy the update, make sure you are subscribed and you check out this video here. And until next time, y'all.